Attention please. This uploading is only for educational purpose. No intention to infringe copyrights. Learning English with subtitles. GPITRAL. Follow us.
Today on Monkey Life. Tragedy at the park when Chimp Cherry loses one of her newborn twins.
Little Louise is limp and gone.
A stink fight at the lemur enclosure when two new arrivals are given a rough welcome.
The lemurs are shown in their enclosure.
And a match made in heaven as Kim and Tien start work on their duet.
Monkey Life, audio described by Kieran McLaughlin. Shots of various primates, chimps, lemurs, gibbons and orangutans.
Monkey World in Dorset, set deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. For more than 25 years, the team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, has rescued and rehabilitated abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
You take a look at her and she's an old dear.
The park now provides a home for more than 240 monkeys and apes from 20 different species. Its aim is to give them a safe and happy life in as natural environment as possible.
A gibbon inflates its throat sac, then young orangutans play on hanging straps. A deserted climbing frame is silhouetted against the sun and blue sky.
At Hananya's enclosure, the chimps are unusually quiet.
Chimps sit together.
Baby Louise, one of Cherry's newborn twins, has died.
We've had a bit of a tragedy. Came in and first thing this morning, little Louise is limp and gone.
But Cherry is still clinging on to her little daughter. Doting Simon hasn't left her side.
Because Cherry is such a good and focused mother, she's still carrying around little Louise and looking after her and caring for her and wishing her to still come back to life. You know, it's the kind of thing that you'd almost be in disbelief. I can't speak, I've never lost a child, but I can only imagine that somebody who has would want to hold on to that little baby and will it to take another breath.
While Cherry is refusing to let go of Louise, her other twin Thelma is a little bewildered and holding on tight to her mum.
It's really a little bit of a difficult and worrying time because whereas she's having to focus so much attention on supporting and carrying Louise and her little limp body, Thelma is having to cling tight and actually support herself a little bit more because Cherry's attentions are on Louise.
Peggy and Arthur are doing their best to comfort Cherry and Thelma. Arthur has been besotted with the twins ever since they were born. Alison is puzzled over Louise's death.
I'm not quite sure why she passed away. We know that the survival of multiple births is not likely in non-human grade apes, but we're gonna wanna know why. I want to know why, but we're gonna have to get Louise off of Cherry at some point in time. My gut instincts say that she hasn't had major trauma, she hasn't wasted away, and to me, the only thing to leave a perfect little healthy body like that is maybe she suffocated. And looking at Cherry and those two babies, Louise was always tucked sort of down and under lower, sort of around her waist and carried a bit lower. And when she would make nests at night, Louise was always tucked right down in amongst everything, whereas Thelma was sort of more front and center and up high. I'm wondering if there was just a very sad tragedy in the night at this point, and this is just speculation, but if when making the nest and falling asleep, you've got Thelma, Cherry, the nesting material and everything, is it possible that little Louise was just sort of trapped in amongst all of that and couldn't get enough air in and simply suffocated and went in the night?
But it is just a guess, and Alison believes it's important to find out exactly what happened.
As soon as we are able to get hold of Louise, I would definitely send her off for a post-mortem, mainly just because I want to know if there was anything that we should have seen, could have done for her, And perhaps more importantly, is there anything that we should be doing for Thelma? If animals die, a lot of the time, the information that you gain from tragic situations can be even more important than you gain from wonderful situations, because it will help you avoid tragedies in the future. So yeah, if we can get hold of Louise, we'll definitely be sending her off for a medical exam.
Still clinging to Louise, Cherry lies on a blanket.
Away from Hananya's enclosure, spirits are much brighter. It's been several weeks now since golden-cheeked gibbons Tien and Kim were paired up, and it seems to be a love story in the making.
Tien sits in the topmost branches of a tree.
Tien used to sing with his family, but started singing on his own a few months ago. That was one of the reasons staff knew he needed to move, as male gibbons do this when they're ready to look for a mate. But now Kim has started to sing with him. This is a great sign that the two of them have hit it off. Golden-cheeked gibbons are found in Vietnam, Cambodia and Laos, and in the wild they sing a short duet most mornings. This is to mark their territory and also to show their social status. The male and female have their own different parts of the duet to sing, but it takes a lot of practice to get it right. Kim's song is far from perfect. She hasn't got the hang of the big, high, strong notes yet. But she is hitting the smaller notes, and generally they're in the right place and at the right time. As for Tien, his song is more sophisticated than Kim's. But he's going to have to learn to adapt it so that Kim can join in. Eventually, she should take the lead. Kim still has a lot of growing up to do. At 5 years old, she was very young to have left her family and isn't fully matured. Over the next few months, she's likely to go through the colour change that happens to all adolescent female golden-cheeked gibbons, where they turn from black to blonde. They may not be the most tuneful of gibbons yet, but Kim and Tien certainly seem to have got off on the right note.
Together they swing through the trees. Next, ring-tailed lemurs in their enclosure.
Two more primates hoping to get off to a good start are just settling into their new home at Malagasy, the lemur enclosure. Twins Friedrich and Kurt arrived in Dorset last night. They were living at a zoo in Austria. But they've grown up and it's time for them to leave their family group. So Monkey World has offered to take them in. But lemurs aren't known for being particularly friendly to newcomers. So they're going to have to work hard to be accepted by the rest of the ringtails here.
Friedrich and Kurt peer from a small holding pen.
The two brothers were up at the crack of dawn, eager to have a look outside and spot their new housemates. Friedrich and Kurt are cautious. The team is going to introduce them to the other lemurs gradually. They know the ringtails are likely to give the twins a hard time. Normally, the lemurs are allowed to roam freely around their large outdoor enclosure, but it's been decided to contain them for this introduction, just to be on the safe side. Himal, one of the youngest lemurs at the park, and Houdini, who is known for having a gentle temperament, are waiting to meet the boys who stick together nervously. Houdini heads straight for them, but they sense he's not about to make them feel welcome. Houdini rubs his wrists on his tail and then proceeds to flick it at them. It's a stink fight, and the brothers are not impressed. Himal sits on the sidelines, watching his friend Houdini load up again. Lemurs have scent glands on their wrists, which produce an odour. In the wild, this technique is used to resolve things like territory disputes and squabbles over food. Houdini is only a mid-ranker in the group, and he normally gets on with everyone, but he seems determined to put the twins in their place.
He's on a higher level of a climbing frame while they stick together below.
It's time for some of the others to get in on the action, and they all seem keen to make their mark. Dominant male Indiana starts scent marking, and Renton follows suit. Kurt shows he's no pushover by trying to claim a bit of territory for himself. But the lemur Kurt and Friedrich really need to win over is leader Fennel. Females are in charge in ringtail society, and she can protect them if she's on side. The brothers decide the best way to impress her is by throwing her some stink.
One of the brothers approaches Fennel cautiously.
You may need to work on your chat-up lines, boys. Coming up, happy news for woolly monkey Zingu.
Zingu's going to be a fantastic mum. I can't wait to see her with a baby again.
And Fabian outsmarts his fellow Capuchins to become king of the termite mound.
End of part 1.